Yes, yes, yes. Good evening, everyone. I'm Ellen Sutters of ESP Presents and ESP Book Chats, where we bring page turners your way. Tonight, our guest is uh, Charles Carroll Lee. We're talking about his book, For Better or For Worse. And it's a great book. Do tell the folks about yourself and what you want your readers to know about you before we get into
Oh gosh, that's a loaded question. What do I want them to know about me? Well, yeah, I'm just a local.
it.
Oh, see, my glass is a little larger than yours, but just ice water.
Yay!
Like he told me earlier, since it's so hot outside, I thought I'd just drink ice water for the day. Yeah, but I'm a local self-published author located here in Petersburg, and I've written 5 novels. And I've been battling about my books of what to properly classify them. They are general fiction novels, but uh, as time and the years went on, I thought I needed to kind of narrow that down a little bit. So I coined a new term, escape fiction.
Hmm.
So they're not trying to answer a social media question or a current event question, though, but it's a book that maybe take on to the beach or after a long day of work, you just want to pick it up and just escape for a little while,
Mm-hmm.
and get your mind off of, other things that may be on your mind. So I coined escape fiction. So let people know, no, I'm not trying to solve any problems. But like with Better or for Worse, when I first wrote it, I said, oh, it's a book about marriage. I went, no.
That's what I was thinking.
It was about a married couple who got some problems, to make those wedding vows, for better or for worse. And,
Mm-hmm.
when you're in a marriage, things go well. Oh, yeah, well, this is going good. But then, life takes detours and marriage take little detours too. So do you really want to stay married after that? Or can you get
Mm-hmm.
back on track and talk things out and communicate and forgiveness? Uh, so I think that's what it's about. It's more escape fiction. I'm just trying to entertain people just for a little while.
Mm-hmm. Well,
Mhm.
I found it to be very interesting. Um, and again, we're not going to give it all away. We're just going to
Mhm.
kind of indulge in the first 4 chapters. I was looking at uh, Philip
Yeah,
when
Reese
he
Phillip. Hmm.
Reese Phillips, Dexter the third,
Yeah,
and just how good looking he is. And he met his match with Sabella Sable.
yeah.
And that grocery store scene really got me because it was, I like the way you showed how he's this very attractive man
Hmm.
and everybody flocked to him and he seems to just shoo them off like flies, like they just easy prey. And then when he gets to Sabella, and find her in the grocery store, just the tactic he used to get her
Yes.
attention and how she didn't, kind of
Uh-huh.
played him off.
Hmm.
So why did you make that important scene, being that he is always chosen by somebody? And I thought that was really good to use Sabella to just kind of let him know he's not as what he think he is.
Yeah, and kind of like you said, he met his match with her in that grocery store. I think a buddy of mine's met his wife like that. She didn't pay him any attention, so he just dumped his he dumped his grocery items in her cart. She wasn't quite as gracious as Sable. Like, what the hell are you doing? I ain't paying for this. And after that, they went out on a date and lived happily ever
Yeah.
after. Yeah, but yeah, buddy of mine's did it to his wife, but to his current wife. So they gave me an idea. But yeah, I wanted Reese to meet his match because he's gotten away with his looks, and
Mm-hmm.
like you said, women flocked to him all his life, and he was very popular. But I think Saber may be getting him to side eye the whole time. So yeah, I think that's the way you summed it up was great.
Mm-hmm. And
Yeah.
so I look at that, and then when they, before that, he had met Carla, and Carla, that was the one that he met in college, and she moved off and got married
Oh
again.
yeah, she did. Yeah,
And so
and
I like the two contrasts of the women and you
Mhm.
gave that Sabella that hot, steamy woman of her own power.
Yeah, 'cause he
And
had
I saw that.
yeah, he had a whole lot of, not a whole lot, but he had a few relationships that's kinda ended, without any kind of resolution, and I think he
Mhm.
mentioned that, but he just don't know what happened,
Yeah.
and I don't think when he saw Sable, he didn't want those things to keep happening again. "Well, here's this beautiful woman I would like to get to know."
Mhm.
Um, she appears not to be paying me any attention, but so let me make myself
Yeah.
known unto her, so, I think his track record kinda played into that as well.
But we're not going to give it all away. But I
Yeah.
was looking at it a little bit, Jen, 2 years later and getting married. And
Mhm.
I just saw Sabella as a mystery woman, going out and just kind of hating him and they kind of hating each other. What
Mhm.
kind of, I mean, what type of stable marriage was that?
But they were good up until a point. Then something happens. I don't know if it's in those first 4 chapters when you told me I had to know about first 4 chapters. I said, "Oh God, it felt like an exam up in school."
You can go a little
I
further if
s
you want to,
I
but I
said
just don't like to give it away. Go ahead,
I
you can
said
go a little
I
further.
said, "I hope I know what she talking about, those first 4 chapters." I said, "Oh, wait a minute. Oh, I wrote the book, so I should know what happened." Yeah, but no, things was going well, but something out of Sable's past comes back, and it
Mhm.
starts to attack her. Um, so with that, I think she's trying to let me deal with this current crisis that's facing me, but my husband doesn't know about this yet, so I
Right.
need to in her mind, I need to protect him from it. So let me isolate him for right now until I deal with this other issue head on.
Mhm.
And I think over and over again in the book, she's gone when
Yeah, she's gone a lot. And
I
I'm
should
like,
have said something before now.
yeah, I thought, because I thought maybe she had I mean, I don't want to go all the way down, but an unresolved marriage, or just looking at that, examining it
Yeah.
right there, going to another man, or had something
Hmm.
extra.
Yeah. Mm-mm. I Yeah, I kind of wanted to stay away from that a little bit. But I think along with that, going back to for better or for worse, and that marriage vows thing, well, yes, I should have said something earlier. But when he finds out, will my husband Reese still feel the same about me
Yes.
now as he does then?
Mhm.
So I think Reese is going to have to bring something of himself. Am I capable to accept what she didn't tell me?
Mhm.
Am I able to forgive and push this marriage forward, like I want to? So
Mhm.
it's a lot of struggle between the two of them, but I still think they are
I think you did
in love.
good. You had us thinking. I mean, you
Yeah.
just kind of sat through it as this. I'm like, well, why is she acting like this? So we have
Hmm.
to read further to find out why she's acting.
Yeah.
So that was a
Yeah.
good fuel starter that you gave us to just kind of
Yeah.
keep our eyes on Sabella.
Hmm. Hmm. Yeah, man, she's a legendary beauty. She was Miss Hampton. She's in the sorority. She does a great job, and she's just as popular as her husband is.
Yes.
Uh, but she has more skeletons in her closet, but than her husband. But something happened to her husband that she doesn't know about yet, so he
Mhm.
has to tell her. Well, here's what's going on with me in the meantime. Since we're confessing everything, and she going, "Oh, like Lord."
I know. That was really good. I mean, also his little brother James
Yeah,
and a little bit of Kim, the Asian girl. You
yeah,
know, not
yeah.
really telling his family too much about her, but she's like this striking young girl, the Asian
Yeah,
girl in college with James.
and I think when I wrote the book back in, I think it was copyrighted 2002, so I may have written it 2000, 2001, and I think there was a lot of,
It's a lot of racial stuff going on too.
yeah, I
And
think I
I'm
need to,
like, it's still happening now. You did put a little bit of that in there.
yeah, we talked about that in Whiskey and Wine, and I'm closing my eyes just to kind of remember back there. but back then, like in early 2000, I think there was a lot of Asian and African American tension,
Yes.
and I kind of wanted to address that in the book. So I need to backtrack what I said earlier about.
Because I remember, I don't know how far back from your book, but this was in California. There was a little, I think she was 14 years old. It was an Asian woman, and she just threw her money on the counter, and the Asian woman
Mhm,
shot her dead. So that
mhm.
might be further back in your book, but
Yeah, I
I
think
do
that's
remember that story.
yeah, and there was a lot of blacks going into Asian stores and they would get shot or arrested, and
Hmm.
kind of what you just said. Now I don't think things have changed a whole lot, since early 2000. Now we're what, almost what, midway through 2021, and I think we're
Yeah.
still dealing with those type of issues. So I put James in a relationship that kind of he's a dark skinned
A nice
young
looking
male and
lady.
she's Asian, and her parents are Korean store owners. And there's something happened on a national level between a black man and the Asian store owner. So he has to come to grips with that. And his parents are extremely protective. They're doting
Yeah.
parents, both of their sons. So, well, and I think the thing is we wouldn't want to come across as being racist, though, but
Yeah.
we want to make sure you are safe and we're going to protect you at all costs. And
Yeah.
we just want you just to, think through this a little bit more of their relationship.
Because they were very concerned, Joyce and
Oh, yeah, Reese Jr.
Reese
Hmm.
Jr. They were very concerned about that relationship, and they often talk in passing about Sabella
Hmm.
and
Yeah,
also
Reese.
Reese,
Hmm.
and they was concerned about how whether they're close, whether their marriage is good, because you don't really hear about it. She don't really come around and to
Yeah,
family events and stuff like that. And
yeah, and it spilled over because I think James noticed it at some point. Like you said, the parents
mhm,
noticed it, and Reese talks about it, to his friend at the gym. So it spills over, so everyone notices, and I think Sable knows it, but she does seek help
mhm.
later on in the novel.
I want you to give just go back a little bit and give us the backdrop of For Better or For Worse, in your mind at that time, the backdrop for writing this book.
Mm. Well, I had a one, two, one, two, three. I think I had it's about four storylines. I had about four stories in the novel. First was with Reese, and he had some career problems. Um, and then there's we didn't talk about too much about Reese's mother. She has a medical crisis that's going on, and of course with James and Sable. So certain events happen, people bring things to my attention, or I may indirectly been involved uh, with some situations that I said, oh, this would be a good novel to put on paper. So anyway, I had to change the names to protect the innocent. So what I tell people, the best thing to do is don't comment on it. Don't say nothing, 'cause no one would know it's you unless you say something. Yeah, so they're loosely based on real people, but I have to change the situation, the character, and the personalities, for the purpose of the novel. Um, but I went to I guess to better answer your question, I went to a book club, or book sign, or book event, and the man asked me pretty much the same question. I said, well, I always had an active imagination. He said, oh,
Mhm.
so your novels are your imagination comes to life. I went, oh, yeah, I like that. Imagination comes
What
to
was that?
life. But I think all novels is just some basis to it in real life. But you just have to change it and add some creative ingenuity to it to
Mhm.
make it more appealing. Mhm.
But you did. I like the way you dealt with it, but and then also um, Reese Jr. and his wife Joyce. They are so passionate and loving, And I like how you show how their relationship is real and how his chemistry with her. He knows when she's feeling bad. He knows
Mhm.
when something is wrong. You don't even have to say much of anything. And we as women, we like for our men to be in tune with the unspoken because we know we're a handful. And when they know that, like a look on our face and something is wrong,
Mhm.
and especially when you had that kitchen scene and they were intimate, and then
Oh,
she finds
yes.
out that she has a lump in her breast, and
Uh-huh.
I was like, no, Charles, why would you mess up? It's not messed up, but why would you pick us up in that point and then drop us down with something like that happening to to his wife? I'm like, come on.
I know, but it got to be a good story.
It was good. I was like,
Yeah.
oh, and then not wanting to tell him, and he knew
Yeah.
exactly. And then with her mother and everything. So
Mm.
I like that scene when she didn't want to tell him
Uh-huh.
about exactly what's going on. And there's, you know, quite a few, you just don't really want to share that fear with your husband. And I like when she said that although, that she had that lump, and it seemed like it was a generation of females in their family that had the lump and benign
Mhm.
and stuff like that.
Mhm.
And so she was wondering, and I never even thought about that for women who have breast cancer. Were you paying homage to some of those women when you got that scene? Because you mentioned something that I didn't think about, but most probably those who have breast cancer may have thought about it. Will he love me the same way if I don't have
Mhm.
my breast, and different
Yeah.
type of things like that?
I think a long time ago, I was a little boy. I think my mother had a benign lump in her breast, and I knew a few other women that had a benign lump in their breast. But the worry after that, going for the biopsy and waiting for the results was still just as traumatic as waiting for a cancer diagnosis.
Hmm.
Um, so answer your question, yes.
Hmm.
Yeah, because
Wow.
I think during that time I knew quite a few women that was going through that particular.
So was it like a process that you heard from them, or was that just like the author just imagining those thought process?
A little bit of both, and some of that was my observation of them,
Hmm.
and it's just watching them, praying and waiting, and the angst of waiting for the results
Hmm.
and going there for the procedure. A little bit of both, more observation and listening to them talk, and then my author creativity and get it out on the novel. Hmm.
Yeah, that was good. I felt like I was walking through that, a woman who also have breasts and maybe other women, and just walking through that, it made you feel like you was going to the doctor. It made you feel, as a reader, it made you feel like you were walking through each moment with Joyce.
And two, not all medical procedures have to be bad news.
Hmm.
You know, um, I had some prostate issues, so
Hmm.
I
Hmm.
grew hair and all that stuff, worrying about it. The doctor said you're fine. Ellen, I was so excited. He was sitting next to me. I was so excited. I hugged him
Oh,
and I just laid on. I said, "Oh, thank you, sweet Jesus. Oh, glory, glory, hallelujah." I went, "Oh, I am so sorry." He said, "It's fine." I said, "I really am sorry for grabbing you like that." I was just so relieved. And he said,
wow.
I'll see you later." So anyway, I saw the nurse. I said, "Please tell the doctor I am so sorry for grabbing him and hugging all up on him."
But that was a great emotion. So most men wouldn't even show that type of feeling. I mean, they would feel it in their head, but
Yeah, but when he said you're fine, like, whew. So I can imagine a woman would feel the same way if she has a
mhm,
lumpectomy or biopsy and the doctor said it was benign, you're fine. I'm quite sure she'd go, "Phew."
exactly.
But and along with that, I'm a wellness coordinator at work, so I'm into people getting screenings, and something isn't right, you go get yourself checked out. But I'm glad Joyce had the presence of mind, even though she's a nurse, to go ahead and get it checked. Let me see what's going on
Yeah,
first before I tell my husband, because I don't want him to worry about it
exactly.
at all. So, I mean, I just think all books need some kind of drama, some kind of inks, and I wanted them to feel the way you felt reading it,
Yeah, I
you know.
did.
So,
I did. I was like, wow.
hmm
After being together and just having a loving relationship and him cooking and they have the
yeah,
dinner and then she worries about that,
yeah,
that
yeah.
was a that was
And
a
those things happen. Yeah.
and
And
I
her
was
mother.
like, oh,
hmm And, she talked to her mother. Her mother said, "Yeah, I had a lump too, and so
yeah,
had one, and so had one." So I guess her mother used that to kind of ease your fear. Okay, wait a minute, let's not get
yeah,
ahead of ourselves. Let's just take each day, and I'm gonna come to the hospital, and I'm gonna be there with you and your husband.
mhm.
So
I know how, we read early in the story about Joyce's mother, her father he's passed already.
hmm
So I'm just imagining maybe her relationship that's probably where Reese Jr. got to know how to love a woman or something, or just his own or
well, yeah, but Reese has a family, but I don't know who they are yet. So I was thinking about doing the backstory to Reese and Joyce from when they
mhm,
met. Well, they didn't met in high school, met in college, and
mhm.
um, but he met the mother early on in that dating, so they really did click
Yeah.
very well. So they got along so well, so he kind of knew how to deal with Joyce and kind of win her over. hmm
Mhm. That brother James, talking with him. Um, they have the brother relationship. Just tell us a little bit about the characters, James, and their story or backdrop to them, or anything you
hmm
have to tell us about.
Well,
Uh,
they're 10 years apart
mhm.
in age, so I have a sister. We're 11 years apart. She's the oldest. So some of the things James did with Reese when he was a little boy, I did the same thing to my sister. Oh Lord, you gonna leave me out here by myself? So I'll cry after her. We should go to a party. So I know all my sister's friends now. And Reese and Joyce said, take the boy with you because he's not gonna stop crying until you take him with you. So
Yeah.
they had a big gap. But as James going through the stuff with Kim, I think that the chronological age, that physical age, chronological age kind of shrinks a little bit. So now I've experienced some of the same thing you have experienced.
Mhm.
So now our age different chronological isn't that huge
Yeah.
anymore. But now, and same thing with my sister and I, you know, uh, when I got into college, I started experiencing some of the things she experienced while in college. And now we're both adults. The age, oh, what the word I want to say, kind of kind of shrunk.
Mhm.
So now she thinks I'm the big brother and she the baby sister, but she'll quickly tell you, no, I'm the big sister, you the baby brother. So same thing with Reese and James. Their life experience is kind of closing in the gap, and it's even more in the second novel that I written.
So there's a second one to this.
Well, it's a standalone novel, but it's I carried over some of the characters because I needed them for a few reasons.
Okay. What's the
Yeah.
name of that book?
Um, Called Behind Every Dark Cloud.
That's the one you was reading with
I think the last time you were
Lana.
on. Yeah.
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 And
So it
is there anything before this one or
oh
no? This is the first one.
oh that's the very, very first one.
Okay,
Yeah.
okay,
So there's nothing before that.
okay.
Yeah.
So that you say they both are standalones, but you got some of the characters from
I carried them over
Better Worse
past.
and Brother. Did
Yeah,
you
because
keep Sabella to bring
yep,
in the darker?
I keep Sabella.
You
Yeah.
kept James
I
and
kept James and I kept the parents, but I introduced Sabella's sister, Shelley, and a new dude she's dating. with
Oh
two
my
dudes
goodness.
she's dating.
Oh my goodness. I'm gonna have to get that one. I'm gonna have to get that one. Oh my
Yeah,
goodness.
yeah. So yeah, but the thing shrinks between James and Reese. It's loosely based on my novel. I mean, my relationship with my sister, very, very loosely. I mean, as far
Mhm,
as the maturity and the growth, in the relationship over the years. And I just made them both males that just wanted positive African American men in the novels. So
mhm.
Reese has never been in jail, and I think one of the parents explained they never caused us a moment of grief.
Yeah, yeah, that's what
You
they
know,
explained. They said
you
they
know
never
that
cost them anything. But
yeah,
that's when they were talking about James and the girl and saying that, they never caused them any kind of grief or anything like that.
yeah. I mean, so
So why does James call Reese Jr. Pop Pop? I know he looked like his father or something, but is this his father or not? Just early on in this.
oh yeah, I think gosh, you remember more stuff than I do.
He calls him Pop Pop. And so Joyce was trying to tell him, well, maybe because you look like your father. And I'm like, if that's James is if Reese Jr. is your father, why are you calling him Pop Pop?
I don't know. He just
She gave
does.
a lame excuse.
She did.
She
He
said,
said, and that's why the children had nightmares at night because of
yeah,
your
because of your
stories.
bad storytelling. Like, what?
He said, you're just a bad storyteller. But that's the best she can come up with. And I don't think James ever addressed it. But I guess he just looked at him, calling him Pop.
Oh my goodness. I'm like, wow.
Yeah, but
Like grandpa or something, but still up
yeah,
as his father, I hope.
yeah. Yeah, Reese
Wow.
Jr. calls him son. Hey, son.
Mhm. Oh my goodness.
Am I
It's
your
just,
favorite son? No, you're my favorite 20-year-old son.
did you enjoy writing this book?
Well, I really, really did. And it was just good to get all that stuff off of my mind onto paper. And
Mhm,
I guess my biggest hope was it'll be a good read. People read and just really enjoy it.
mhm.
And I think that's really, really just what I wanted. But it
Yeah,
was a great,
it's got some comical in there, some serious,
yeah.
and some things to think about.
Hmm.
So I really I enjoyed that. Just give you things to think about, and family. It made you think about family. At least it made me think about family, and
And it's so important, family. It just really is. 'Cause they're going through a whole lot of things, but they all eventually need each other.
mhm,
And I think Sable brings that home later on in the story.
mhm.
I need you.
Yeah, I also seen in there you had some music from the 70s and the
Uh,
80s, and you talked about
uh,
Tom Joyner and the news, and you just talked about some things that were highlighted in the Black community,
mhm,
and I seen some of those. I want to ask you because I know from reading your I want to say bio,
mhm,
there's a lot of Virginia stuff and a lot of things that made me think that you were part of maybe Reese Jr. or Reese the Third. And I don't know, just from reading and I was being nosy from reading all about you and the things that it took talk about you, your bio, and that you
mhm,
were from the schools you were from, and
mhm.
everything was about Virginia. And I was wondering if any of those characters you would say you were most like Reese Jr. Or the Third or James, because it seemed like from reading, like I said, your bio, it was like a sprinkle of all of them. I'm like, is this him? It's nah, maybe James him. No, maybe. And that's
Yeah,
just for reading the stuff Virginia and
yeah.
graduated from those places that they've graduated from. And
Well, Reese Jr. and Joyce, the parents, they loosely based on my own parents.
mhm,
Uh, I was I was spread myself between Reese and his brother James.
mhm. Reese Jr. or Reese the Third.
Oh, I'm sorry, Reese the third.
That's
Yeah,
what
'cause
I
we
said.
both graduates of Virginia Union, both alpha men, and so we have some of the same qualities and traits.
That's what I
Um,
thought.
and same,
I was like digging in. I was like, as a
yeah,
reader, sometimes we be like, is this him? Is that,
yeah. So
look like?
sprinkle of some different, yeah, mom, dad, and myself. Yeah, a little
Mhm,
bit of my sister with her overprotectiveness, and she knows all the answers to everything. With Reese Jr., oh, you need to do this, you need to do that, and no, this is how we're gonna handle things. So, and I just think most authors would do that. They would base a character on someone they know already, or some of their positive traits or not so positive traits. So,
mhm,
I think that's how it goes. Sable, on the other hand, I don't know, I created her out of my mind. I don't know who she's most like.
mhm. And you got his um Reese the third, his boss. He said that he, this was so funny to me. He said that he was glad that his boss was out of town, and
Hmm.
he loves when Sabella goes out of town, and he keeps his eyes closed so he won't have to look at her when he's going out the door, and she's doing the same thing too. That was just too funny. He's like, he knew that she opened her eyes when he shut that door. He could feel her eyes looking at him. I was just laughing. I was like, what in the world? I thought they was gonna kill each other, have a knife by the bed, but both of them sleeping with a knife. That's what I thought was gonna come next. I was like, what? What are they doing? Why are they together?
It'll come out eventually.
Like she going to sleep long enough for him to leave. He's saying keeping his eyes shut so he won't have to look at her.
They could be laying there for the next 25 days, scared to move. If I move, I gotta look at her. Now, if I look at her, I'm gonna turn to stone. What do I do? I can't lay here. Gotta go to the bathroom. I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm hungry. I can't lay here.
They're both laying hostage to each other. I'm like, okay, why are they doing this? What is going on?
I didn't think it was that funny when I wrote it, but now that you explained it like that, it's hilarious.
Like, why is he doing that? That was too funny for me. I had to stop. I was like, what? I was like, no, is he gonna leave? I kind of felt like I was like, okay, okay, all right. You need to go out the door before she wake up because you don't like looking at her. He go get his newspaper. He tell me, I'm gonna go down there just in case she wake up. I'm gonna walk real slow. Go down there.
I don't want to wake up a sleeping giant. I ain't laughed
What?
this much all week.
You got me going. It was you the one did that. I was like, what?
Yeah, but it wasn't funny when I wrote it. It
I'm
was
just silly.
serious.
I'm just silly. Okay, I'm just silly. Stuff is funny to me. That was too funny to me. I was like, what in the world?
You're about as bad as my niece, because in the other novel, this police detective goes on this blind date he was set up by his sister. So they
Uh-huh.
go to the Jefferson Hotel, downtown Richmond, exclusive, cobblestone, circular driveway and stuff. And the girl winds up, they order snow crab legs. So the girl doesn't have any kind of culture, so she sits there and eat the crabs with her teeth up in the restaurant. But he been on a string of really bad dates, so I didn't think it was that funny till my niece called laughing. Oh, what are you laughing at? She said this girl up in a restaurant eating crabs with her teeth, trying to crack them with her teeth. I said, "Well, that wasn't supposed to be funny." She said, "But it is."
It
No, I
is.
was trying to show the reader he's been on these really bad dates set up by his sister, but he only loves Shelley, but he don't know how to tell her yet, don't know how, if she feels the same way. And so she said, "Oh, but it's still funny."
It is. It is. I'm like,
Okay.
what they gonna do? What they gonna do? And even so to the point that, like I say, Joyce and Reese Jr., they don't know what kind of relationship they have. She don't come over to nothing.
But they do meet up later.
Yeah, it's
And
too funny.
I think she starts to sing like a canary at that point. Oh no,
Mm.
no, no, no,
I tell you what
no,
I thought. I
no.
tell you,
Go ahead.
I tell you what I thought. I thought that when Reese Reese Jr. Reese the third went downstairs, got that newspaper. I thought he was gonna read. I thought he was gonna read about her in the newspaper at that time. I was hoping that he was gonna see some stuff because I'm still reading early on, right? I'm like, ooh, I wonder what his wife did in the newspaper. That was just me. That was just me. He was gonna find out about her for sure in that newspaper when he got it. That's just me. Oh my goodness, I can't believe it. That's just me. Did anybody else say that? Did anybody else think that? Just me. Oh my goodness.
Oh, you got me sweating and laughing and coughing all at the same time.
Oh my goodness.
Oh, Lord.
I said, sure. It's gonna be all over the newspaper. It's already read. It's on. It's in that.
Look, that would have been hilarious. I wish I had thought of it. She did what? While she laying there trying not to move, paralyzed.
I said, sure enough. She's
I gotta
gonna
go
be
to
in
the
that
bathroom.
paper.
Shoot, I feel like I gotta go to the bathroom. I'm home. They ain't laying here all day. No.
Oh my goodness. I'm sorry. I just wrote my own story. I just knew for sure with all that stuff, the way you had it, the storyline going. Sure enough, he gonna see her in the newspaper. He don't know about it now. That's what's going on with that newspaper. I'm sorry.
Front page of the Times Dispatch.
Front page.
Oh, Lord.
That's what I thought.
Oh, they ain't laugh like this all month. Oh, gosh.
Oh my goodness.
So I'm gonna be up all night long now. Because 8 o'clock my bedtime. And I'm gonna be up all night giggling.
I'm sorry. I'm not, but I am. I am. I really thought that he was going to find out that she was in the newspaper. I did.
Yeah, bet he finds out. But it would have been nice though. Like, you better keep your ass up in that bed.
Oh my goodness, you did it. You did it. You had my mind going.
We're good.
I'm sorry.
That's all right.
But yeah, it's so comical. And there was a good breather and a good laugh in there about this couple. I'm like, okay, he just met her in the store. He 2 years later, and now they've been married for four or 5 years.
Yeah.
And now they got to walk lightly, tread lightly.
Yeah, but don't forget because she's been harassed by somebody from her past. They'll call her up and follow her around and stuff. So I guess she went into full defense mode. But somebody did say something about her husband. Your husband knows you.
Yeah.
You mentioned one word about my husband. I'll stop your motherfucking dick in here.
I can't. And this is recorded and it's all on there. Oh my goodness. Hey, Bridget Taylor, we're just having too much fun here. You know Bridget Taylor?
The name sounds familiar.
She's watching.
Oh, okay.
And I don't know who else though, but
but when somebody said something about her husband, she went and I said, leave him alone. He mad. I snap your naked hair. She went, oh, all right. I'll leave him alone for right now.
Oh my goodness.
So then she goes, oh, I got to say something soon. I'm just getting out of hand.
Yeah.
I can't be laying up in bed all day long. 13 hours.
And she go to work and work later, just a little bit later.
Yeah.
And she go out of town, especially
Yeah.
if it's
Stay.
DC or Las Vegas. And
Yeah.
she be gone for a couple of days. And he talking about glad she gone.
Yeah.
I mean, you
Glad she
don't
go.
say that to her when she's gone a couple of days. Why are you doing this? Why are you just like happy she's gone for a couple of days and she out of town, not just at work, and you happy about it?
Yep. To show you how much he fed up with her. So you just go for a couple of days so I can get myself together. Because my mother
Yeah.
got some issues, my brother got some issues. I won't come home and deal with your ass too. So if you need to go out of town for a couple of days, you go ahead. Leave me alone.
He does. He said go.
And so Reese need that outlet because he had a charmed, I think described it early on, he had a charmed life,
He did.
until
He
he
was
married.
quiet until Sabella, he said.
Yes, exactly. Till
He
she
said, I've
came up.
never had any problems until Sabella.
Yeah. Yes, exactly. And she brought all this drama up in there. Love Sable, love her.
Yeah.
But she brought some stuff with her, and
A legendary beauty, known to have legendary beauty.
yes. So I know all that beauty, got some little drama going there.
It's some huge drama. Oh my goodness. And also with Joyce never gave up. I like when Joyce and Reese Jr. go out in town and they run across their high school friends and they look older than them.
Oh,
When they
yeah.
out because they exercise and they do all this and they look good, vibrant, and they gray. They say that the friends are grayer than anything.
Reese Jr. be asking George, do you dye your hair? She said, no, I don't dye my hair.
And he said also when him and Joyce is together and they walk and they see some old high school friends, he's like, "Ooh, you was gonna marry her?" He's like, "I'm glad I didn't." He said, "Yeah, but you was." He's like,
Especially when they went on that. Oh, you get to the part when they went on that crab trip to Baltimore.
Not yet.
Oh.
I got to get in there.
Oh,
I'm
Amanda.
finishing it. It's too funny.
Amanda was sitting on the seat. She the hostess of the crab trip to Baltimore, and she been giving Reese Jr. the eye the whole time, winking at him, all that stuff. So anyway, I think she had on the tube top and pair of hot pants. So she goes and sit on the edge of Reese's, bus seat. So he's just trying to squirm over because he don't want his arm to touch her behind. But Amanda, a little floozy, she got to push all up against him. So Joy's getting him the evil eye the whole time. And Joyce's mother is over the next seat just laughing and giggling to herself and stuff. So Joyce said, get a phone number. I bet you she give it to you. And why she got your butt all up in your face flying away? But you still trying to move.
Oh my goodness.
But those two in that bus trip, God.
That is really, I mean, just what I read so far. And I went back and I was like, okay, it's time to get on. I definitely have to get in that because I want to know what Sabella, her little thing she got. And he said that, because Joyce and Reese Jr. wants to have grandchildren. They really want to have grandchildren. And according to Mr. Third, Reese the Third, he glad he ain't have none.
Yeah, I know.
He said he glad he didn't have no children. I'm like, okay, you got your mother wanting it, and he glad he ain't have none.
Yeah, I want no children by that mean thing right now.
Not right now.
I said, it took me through the wash, through the ring. I said, oh God, no, That would have complicated matters even more. If they had children, but there's you got to read on. This is
yes
backstory to that too.
So I'm gonna be typing on your page. I'm gonna blow it up.
Well, please do.
I'm gonna blow it up and be like, "Oh no, you didn't." So this has been great. I could keep you all day. What do you want the readers to walk away Before I ask you that, the book that you just had in your hand, you said that's your latest book that you have.
Oh no, that's the second one.
That's the
Um,
second one to this one.
yeah, Nothing Goes as Planned is the last novel I've written.
Okay, and that has nothing to do with these two.
No,
What
no.
what is that about? That one there.
Well, it's about the Carson family. There's Shannon Carson and his niece and his mom and dad and his son. They have some tormentors from their past who's coming back to get them.
Mm,
And then there's someone in their life now who wants some special favors from this whole family.
mm.
So they have to band together and eliminate them.
Oh, so that's almost your detective story, or is that going to
Oh
be?
no, no, no. Trust me, ain't no detective story.
Oh,
It's a gritty tale of lies, bullying, sex, revenge, and deceit sprinkled with a dark sense of humor.
mm. So that's
Yeah,
going to
so
be a standalone, or you got?
yeah, no, this is standalone. Yeah,
It's a standalone.
yeah,
So short again, you took it away
yeah.
too quick.
Nothing goes as planned.
Nothing goes as planned. You guys see that, and then
Hmm.
show me the one before that one you just showed,
That one is Behind Every Dark Cloud.
and tell us about that again. So,
All right. Yeah, it's about Detective Alonzo Cunningham, and he's races against the clock to rid the city of a serial rapist.
mm,
And beautiful woman unwittingly aids the widowed detective in his investigation, as well as a clairvoyant college student, James Dexter, and his underworld connected father, Reese Dexter Jr. And Richmond, Virginia is the backdrop for this fast moving novel that brings back some powerful characters from For Better or For Worse and introduces Shelley Clark and Sylvia Montgomery into this suspenseful thriller. In addition to capturing the serial rapist, the Dexters are searching for the long lost son of a family friend until the novel's breathtaking and jaw dropping conclusion.
wow.
Yeah, so all the Dexters are looking for this rapist for another reason,
Mm.
besides trying to bring him to justice. Well, we need you for something else first, and then we'll hand you over. Yeah, but Reese Jr. is well connected with the underworld, so I don't know. And I don't know that. And I was thinking about doing the backstory of Reese
Mhm.
um
But we'll get a little
and
bit of
Joyce.
that in this, right? We'll get a little pinch of Reese
A
in
little bit.
here
Yeah,
before he goes over there. That's what I'm okay.
yeah.
Yeah. So now I want to ask you again, what do you want your readers to walk away with this story here?
Mm, like you, I want them to have a sense of enjoyment
Hmm.
and think about forgiveness. You know, we all have a past. We've all have done things that we may not be proud of, and some things we haven't shared. But when those things come to light, have an open mind and be open to forgiveness. And like we did, laugh often, and it's just have fun and enjoy your family. But a prevailing thing I want people to take away is forgiveness,
Oh wow.
and look at that and make sure it works for you, and it has to work for you most of all.
Yeah. Because they like they say, if you don't forgive, it's like you trying to give your somebody drinking the poison yourself and hoping for
Yeah,
another person to die. They
yeah.
done moved on.
Yeah, and that's what Reese and Saber got to deal with. You know, we're going to
Mhm.
forgive and move forward, or how are we going to handle the rest of our marriage?
Wow.
Yeah.
So that's good that you showed that, people want to get married. I'm married. I've been married for 29 years, but we've been together 33 years. I met him in
Mm-hmm.
1988 on Valentine's Day, my
Oh,
husband.
okay.
And we don't we want the wedding gown and the beautiful stuff that the ceremony involves, but we
Mm-hmm.
don't want to walk through those snapshots of what made us smile. There's always a
Mhm.
backstory before the smile. And so
Yes.
I like how you did with Sabella and Reese the third, how you showed, you gave them that 4 year and then really start going into this marriage,
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
that there's stuff that happened and will you do the better for worse?
Yeah.
You know, we want
Yeah.
cake every day. And I remember a lady telling me this before I got married, is a elderly woman. She said, when you're dating, a man, you've been making the eggs sunny side up, and you find out a little later they never did like it. They liked the egg scrambled. They never
Mm-hmm.
liked it that way.
Yeah.
And I was like, wow. And she was looked to be about 75 or something
Mm-hmm.
like that, way back.
Yeah. Same thing with me and my father. He always want me to eat liver.
Hmm.
And one time I was a grown ass man. I said something, oh, what you eating for dinner? Liver and onions? Oh, I don't like liver.
Mm,
I'm like, what? You made me eat it. I was a little boy. Yeah, because it was good
we
for
ate
you.
that. We ate that.
That's
When we
after
was growing
all
up,
these
they said
years.
supposed to be for iron, with iron.
Yeah, I am.
We had
Mhm.
it fried. Did you have it fried or baked?
Well, let me show you how sneaky my parents are. They knew I didn't like liver, so they told me it was pork chops.
Ooh, and you
So being
believed
as
it.
trusting and loving as I am, I sat there. I put a piece of it in my mouth, Ellen. I told my mama, I don't want this kind of pork chop with no bone in it. Don't buy this kind no more. That was the end of that conversation and that trick.
Oh my goodness.
Well. And I tried it again in college and was still like, oh,
So no liver for you.
yeah, no liver. Mm-mm. And found the dad didn't like it either, but he ate it because it's supposed to be good for you.
Mm,
I say, nowadays it's child abuse.
it was. It is certainly good to have you here, and that's our time.
Oh,
I can
shucks.
keep you for
That went by so fast. Thank you
I
so
told you.
much.
I told you one hour goes fast. You are so welcome, and we love to see you back again. And tell them where they can reach you.
Oh, you can reach me on Facebook under, what's my name? Charles Lee. And I also have an author's page. I don't use too much, but I do check it. Charles Carroll Lee, the author, on Facebook. Mhm.
Good, good, good. Well, thank you, and we enjoyed you.
Oh, thank you so much. And I appreciate the laugh. I ain't
You
laughed
are
like that
so
all year.
You did it. You had me in tears. I couldn't believe it. I'm gonna tell my husband. I was in tears.
Good.
Those were some good tear ducts from. I have glaucoma, and they have these they call them eye plugs
Oh, really?
right in here. You can't see them though, but that's
Oh,
because
okay.
my eyes are so dry,
Oh,
and so I needed those little tears you worked up.
oh, well, good. I'm glad it was helpful.
Go, but we've been here 2 hours. Thank you so much, and it's always, you're always welcome here. Thank you for these wonderful stories. We're gonna look into those other two books as
Yeah.
well.
Well, you can call me back. I'd be happy to come back on.
Thank you so
Yeah.
much.
Oh, thank
I
you.
will give you a review from him. This will be finished.
Okay.
All right.
All
Thank you
right.
so
All
much.
right. Yeah. Good night.
Good night. You can just drop down, and
Yeah.
I'll tell us folks what's coming up next.